There is a moment in most companies that nobody notices. When it actually happens, it's usually a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic, no crisis. Somebody asks you a certain question they should not have needed to have asked you. And you answer it because answering takes 90 seconds and explaining who should have answered it would take 20 minutes. This is the moment. That is the day your company outgrew the way you run it. And most founders do not notice this for almost about 18 months. I have spent 11 years building software and I have worked alongside more than 50 founders. The pattern I see most often is not a bad product. And it's not a bad market. It's a good company being run on an operating model that stopped fitting about a year ago. So in the next 10 minutes, I want to show you 3 things. How to tell whether this has already happened to you. Why is it almost impossible to see from the inside? And what actually changes when you fix it? This is not going to be about working harder. You are already doing that. And it's not working. Growth does not arrive as an event. Nobody sends a message saying the company is now too complex for one person to hold in their head. It arrives as an accumulation of multiple parts. Here is the arithmetic that hides it. Every month, your company gets roughly 4% more complicated. One more person, one more customer, with more than an exception. One more integration. One more thing that broke once and now has a special rule attached to it. 4% is nothing. You absorb 4% without noticing. Nobody has ever quit over 4%. But 4% a month is about 60% across a year. And you absorb it in a very specific way. You absorb it by adding yourself. A little more of your evening, one more Sunday morning, one more decision you take personally, because taking it personally is faster than explaining it. So the load never shows up as a problem on a dashboard. It shows up as you, your hours, your weekends, your patience, and because it has arrived slowly, it feels like normal, the new normal. It feels like what running a company is. It's not. It is what running a company without a system is. So here are 5 signals, not feelings, things you can check this afternoon. 1. Your calendar is mostly other people's work. Open last week. Count the hours that were somebody else's work. Somebody else who is being paid for that. And has been brought to you for a decision or a nudge. If it is more than a half, that is signal 1. Now 2. Decisions queue behind you, not urgent ones, ordinary ones. Somebody is sitting on £200 purchase or a supplier reply waiting for a yes that they could have given themselves. Think over it. 3. You are the only person with the whole picture. If a new senior hire started on Monday, nobody could brief them properly without you in the room. Is this important? That is not seniority. That's single point of failure. Number 4. New people take longer to become useful than they used to be. When you were 6 people, someone was productive in 2 weeks, and now it's 2 months. That's not the caliber of the hire. They are great. That's the absence of anywhere for them to plug in. 5. And this is the one founders skip past. You have stopped doing the thing you are great at, you are brilliant at, the thing that made the company work in the first place. Selling or designing or talking to customers, whatever it was. It was now the first thing that gets dropped when the week goes wrong. 3 of those 5 problems are true. This has already happened. Not is happening. It's happened. Now, the next part matters more than the checklist because it's where most founders get it wrong about themselves. You did not get worse at your job. The job changed underneath you. A founder's job changes at least 3 times. In the first phase, roughly not to 10 people, your job is to build the thing and sell the thing personally. Your hands on it. Around 10 to 30, job quietly becomes something else. You are no longer the person doing the work. You are the person making sure the right work is chosen and finished. And past 30, it changes again. Now you are designing the system that chooses and finishes the work without you standing in it. Clean? Nice? Good to hear? Here's the difficult part. Nobody tells you the job has changed. There is no letter, no announcement, no your title is identical, the same one, your email address is identical, the company looks like the same company. So you conclude quietly that you are failing at your job. When actually you are succeeding extremely hard at a job that stopped existing about a year ago. I have watched capable, serious people carry that misreading for years. It's not a character flaw, it's a missing memo for you. So, what do you actually do about it? What do you think? Not do less. That advice is useless because the work does not go anywhere. It just sits there rotting on your table. 3 moves, they are not glamorous. The first is to write down how decisions get made. Who decides what and up to what value. Most companies your size have never written a single line on this, which is why every decision defaults back to you for your approval. 1 page, who can spend what, who signs off on what, and who decides when 2 people disagree. If this is there, then let's go to second. The second is to give the week a shape. 1 meeting at the same time every week. 1 short list of what matters right now. A name beside every line. A person, not a team. And a check on each one 7 days later. That sounds almost too simple to be worth doing it. It's also the single highest return thing I have ever installed in my company. And I have installed it many times. The third, is to get information out of your head. Anything you know that nobody else knows is not an asset. It's a risk sitting inside one's skull. Write it down badly this week rather than beautifully never. I will tell you the part nobody mentions. For 2 or 3 weeks after you do this, things get slightly worse. There is a saying, as you start building your system, the running slows down. There are hiccups in the initial phases. People make calls you would have made differently. You will want to reach back in and take it over. Happened to you? You've given delegated the authority, they took the wrong calls and you wanted to get in back and take it over from them. That fortnight is the entire price. It's remarkably cheap for what it buys to you. Let them learn. 1 or 2 mistakes, that's fine. There is a saying, if any of your delegated employee or staff does 80% of what you would do, they are the best. Don't expect 100%. You are different. Let me give you 1 test to take away. Take a week off, a real one. No calls, no messages. Then look honestly what happened if the company slowed down You have a normal, healthy business with a busy founder in it. If the company stopped, you are not the founder anymore, you are the operating system, and the operating systems cannot take holidays, they cannot get ill or think about the next year. That's what an operating system is. Because here is the thing I have seen more than any other. Companies do not usually fail at the moment they outgrow the founder. They fail about 2 years later, when everybody involved has quietly got used to the founder being the bottleneck and started calling it the culture. They say, that's the culture of the company. You are not fallen behind. Your company grew, which is the whole point. And the way you run, it has not caught up yet. That's a solvable problem. And it's a much better problem than if any of this sounded like your last 6 months. There is more on this at consultwithkrishna.com. Otherwise, go and write that one page about decisions. It will take you 40 minutes and it will change your next quarter. Take the risk. And that's what founders are built for, taking a risk. Unless as a founder you take that risk, the whole growth of the company is going to stall at some point of time, which becomes unmanageable. Try it out and throw in your thoughts what happened. Thank you.